Put your mind to it, let's see what we can be. No need for struggle, you got power to succeed. Yes, you can be completely free. Let's have a talk about it, let's have a talk. Let's talk about the things that he has done for us. I'm living free. We can have a healthy talk, just you and me. Right here on the Letitia Jackson Show.
Hello and welcome everyone back to She Rise Chronicles with Letitia Jackson. Listen, I am so excited on tonight because we have this wonderful person sitting beside me. Jessica Grace, you all. You are in for a special story. She is a person that I've met through a mutual friend. But since then, I've learned so much about her, just insight about what she's done, what she do, and what she believes in. And so I'm going to leave it to her and let everyone meet Jessica.
Oh, thank you, Letitia.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
I feel
welcome.
like we're so far apart. But congratulations on your new show.
Oh, thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Thank
and
you
I
so
love
much.
it.
It means a lot coming from you because when I just learn about what you do and what you have done, it's amazing. And I would love for the viewers to hear more about it. But before we get into that, tell everyone who you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my name is Jessica Grace, and I think for me, I'm just a person who loves living life in the best way possible. So I'm a super creative person. I've done a lot of work in multimedia, marketing, I mean, anything creative, the arts, acting, singing, you name it. I have been blessed to be able to do it. And so I just believe in finding purpose in your passions and doing the things you love.
So finding purpose in your passion. So let's talk about that. We're going to get into it real heavily right now because I always talk about, we're here on purpose for a purpose with a purpose. So when you're saying finding your purpose, within your passion and identifying yourself, how did that even come about? Like, what were you going through? What did you experience to be able to find your purpose?
Oh, now that, there. Oh my goodness, where are the tissues?
Okay.
Because for me, I think I went through a very challenging time in my life.
Okay.
I actually mentioned in my first book, Release the Greatness.
Okay.
And that was a moment where I had my own encounter, my own come to Jesus moment where God really, kind of let me know that he had purpose for my life and how valuable I was to him and to others.
Right.
And so it was in that moment that so many creative ideas just began to spark, like the first book and then different show ideas and business ideas, just through knowing that I was put here for a purpose.
Right.
And so I think once we realize, I have the passion and I like doing this, I like making these types of crafts, or I like, inspiring people to take care of themselves.
Right.
Whatever a person's passion is, I think it's important for us to really understand how to pursue it and how to pursue it on purpose, in purpose.
I like that, on purpose, in purpose.
Yeah.
And so I've talked with people in the past, and they talk about I have a passion, then they have a purpose. Do you feel like passion and purpose the same thing, or is it a different lane?
I think it can be a little different sometimes.
Okay.
You can be passionate about baking cookies,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not until you connect with how you plan to impact someone with your cookie baking passion.
Impact.
You know what I
yes,
mean?
I do.
So it's like, hey, I'm passionate about baking cookies, but I also want to really help people who may need a sweet treat to brighten their day.
Right.
That's living on purpose, helping someone in a purposeful way, impacting someone else.
I like that. So I tell people, when you're living on purpose, in purpose, on purpose, for your purpose, right? All those purposes there. I think about why do you do it? And it's to impact others. And how does it make you feel once you have completed that task?
Yes.
When times get hard, what makes you continue to move forward? Because when you're working at purpose, like no matter what you're faced with, it may get hard, you may have trial times, you're still able to move forward because you are purposely driven.
That's right. You should be fulfilled by what you do. Whatever business you have, whatever idea you have, it should be fulfilling. And if it's not fulfilling, I think that's a great check for us to be like, oh, wait a minute, this may not be what I need to be pursuing,
That's hard sometimes.
Very.
Figuring out this is not what I need to be doing because I don't feel fulfilled. So let me ask you a question. So you talked about, I know you've been in the media for some time now. How long have you been in the media for?
Oh my, I'm gonna reveal my age.
Okay.
So I have been in the media professionally since 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, professionally.
Okay.
I did been dabbed in some different things as a singer growing up.
Okay.
And did, some plays and things
Okay.
like that. But professionally, I guess as a media correspondent since 2004.
2004. Okay. So did you always wanted to be in media, or like what caused you to want to look at media and pursue your career in that?
So my family are, especially on my father's side, they are singers, speakers, you name it.
Okay.
We come from a family of ministry.
Okay.
On my father's side, my grandfather, the late Reverend Jesse White, he was a renowned preacher, activist, and my father was a preacher and singer
Right.
and actor. So, and my mom, she does a lot of the same
Okay,
things.
okay.
So honestly, it was just, growing up, you're just kind of taught to get on the mic and do what you're supposed to do.
Did you ever feel pressure in any way as a young child?
No,
Really?
I never
Okay,
felt pressure.
okay.
I enjoyed it. It's definitely just a love. So no pressure. Just a joy, to be honest.
Okay. And so I want to bring this up because I know you just moved back, right, from South Carolina. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you had your own talk show there. So I want to talk about that.
Sure.
It's kind of how you walked into that role and how you were able just to meet other people in the industry that, I would say people of top tier people.
So let me be honest.
Okay.
I am so blessed that before I got that lifestyle show, my entertainment career had already really done very well. Like I had already interviewed Bobby Brown and, so many names. I'm trying to think of them all,
Right.
but just so many incredible people. And so it was that opened up the door for me to start working for the news station in Myrtle Beach, to host their lifestyle show. That show actually featured local businesses.
Okay.
So it gave me an opportunity to really impact local businesses who had never been on television.
Wow.
A lot of nonprofits. And this is what I mean when you infuse purpose into whatever you choose to do. And so I just had it on my heart. I'm like, I know that I've got to get, these paid business spots done,
exactly.
but I'm going to find these nonprofits who truly have a story, they have a great mission, and they've never been featured and want to tell their story. And so that's what I did through that particular lifestyle show. But my career has just blessed me to be able to interview a lot of entertainment figures. So
that is amazing. I had opportunity to interview Baba Tunde. Get that name right, Baba Tunde, right? It's a tongue twister. And I was just so excited to be able to do such a thing as that. But as I was speaking with him and talking with him, I learned a lot. Just for him, how he just persevered through what he has been faced with. And he talks about his purpose, and the purpose is bigger than you just being in front of someone. You've been a superstar. You've been having this title beside your name. Your purpose is how can you impact others?
That's right.
And so if someone is struggling with that, like what is your go-to? How can you walk someone through identifying their purpose or not sure what their purpose is? How can I identify that? What do you tell a person?
So I was always taught by different mentors growing up that your purpose is what you love to do. Your calling. It's that thing that brings you joy. When you do it, you're like, ooh, this is great. I could do this all day. I could do this in my sleep, and I could do it without getting paid.
That part. It's that part there. Like, if I don't get paid, are you still okay with that?
Yeah.
Now, we want to get paid, but
Right.
that's what identifies your purpose right there.
Right. You know that this is the thing. This is what excites you. You love to do it, and you like telling other people about it.
Right.
That's what we have to do. We have to take those moments and think about what is the thing, and then we have to do it with everything we have.
That part right there. So, like, for me, like, say I have a business, right? And insurance is all over. But it was like, what would make me different from anybody else? And what was my purpose? And for me, I had found out that, okay, as a Black woman who owns a business, it was more than just me, on a business. It was more about, I had people looking up to me, people who saw me as a little child, my background, and now it gives them hope that they can also be the same way. But by them giving them hope, I'm still pouring into them, showing them the way, showing them that they can actually do the same thing. And so I get more joy seeing people being successful than me actually going out and making a sale. That makes sense?
Yes, I love that. You have a blessed business rather. You have the blessing of having a blessed business.
Right.
And I love that you are finding so many different ways to impact people through your show, through your speaking, through your leadership.
Thank you. Yeah.
So many ways to make an impact.
And I read this, that sometimes your purpose finds you.
That's true.
Sometimes we don't know what that is, and you may be in the middle of doing a job or doing a contract or something, and then all of a sudden your purpose identify you in that moment, and you were like, what your purpose is. Do you agree with that? Can you see that?
I agree. Let me tell you.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't want to take too much time.
No, go ahead. No.
Listen, I fell in love with this show. It's a hospital style show.
Okay.
And I've been watching it, and I'm loving how and I've always had this hidden passion for the medical field. And so I told my husband, I said, babe, I think I want to be a chaplain. And always had a love for ministry, always had a love for being there for people. But when my father passed in 2016, we were assigned, of course, a chaplain through that process of watching him transition literally. And she was such a blessing to me, and she inspired me. So now, I feel like my purpose found me, or a part of my purpose found me in that moment. So now I'm like, okay, researching and trying to see what it takes.
Right. I like that. So for me, I want to ask you a question. So during your journey of writing your book, right? I want you to talk about that. You wrote your first book called what again?
Release the Greatness.
Release the Greatness. So how did what point in your life caused you to write that book? What did you go through to help you identify for you to write that book so people can read what you went through and what you faced with, or whatever it is to inspire them with?
Right. So honestly, it was a very challenging time.
Okay.
I was in college and I was not doing well. Oh my goodness. Like I said, where are the tissues?
Right.
I wasn't doing well. I was, trying to honestly navigate probably too much because I was on the radio. I was a very faithful person in my church. I was in millions of ministries because I was passionate about that. But school for me, it was great, but I think I was a little spoiled because I was on radio in my field before I got into college.
Got you.
So it wasn't like I needed the degree to jumpstart my career.
Makes sense.
And so anyway, I wasn't doing so well, and it just kind of was triggering. It started to trigger like certain things like, oh my gosh, am I good enough? Do I have what it takes for certain things that I want? And honestly, I faced a lot of anxiety, like test anxiety, depression.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, it got really, really dark for me. But through one of my darkest moments, I can remember being in my bedroom at my mom's house, and the Lord just, in that dark time, I was crying and just like really having a time. And God just really spoke to me. He was like, there's greatness in you. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God. And he just really ministered to me, and he was just telling me how sovereign he was, and how he just has a purpose for me and had such a plan for me. And so from that, I just started like really fasting, because I believe in fasting and praying and just listening to worship music to get me through. And it was in that where the book was birthed, Release the Greatness. And the first few times I wrote the manuscript, it was real heavy.
Okay.
Like, it was like, Pentecostal church heavy.
Okay.
I was like, oh, you know.
Okay.
But then I started rereading. I'm like, okay, Jessica, how are people who are not even aware of all these things you're talking about, the anointing and all the things, how can they understand it? So, I mean, I kept just fleshing through it, and finally release it. I think it took about 5 years.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
it wasn't an overnight process.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. It was definitely a lot of rewriting. I had editors that helped me, seasoned writers who really helped me to flush through that manuscript. Yes.
So during that time when you was writing your book, how did it affect you positively?
Well, just accomplishing that, you know, and I have to give credit to my aunt, Dr. Rhonda Bolden.
Okay.
My mom always says that I was basically her baby.
Okay.
But she really pushed me. She encouraged me, you know, to really get through my book. She had written several books and worked with several others who had written books. And so I think writing my book and publishing it, you know, it made me feel honestly like a real entrepreneur.
Right.
Because that was my first product. You know, that was the first product that I had to take on speaking engagements or whatever I was doing and have my little table with my stuff.
Right.
So it empowered me.
Okay.
It really did.
So when you're speaking, you mentioned you were speaking again. When you're speaking, like when you're getting yourself prepared for you speaking to people, like I would say, you got people who want you to come on their stages for churches or different events. My question is, do you ever think about like what are you speaking to them about? Is it always about purpose, finding their identity? Like how do you identify with your audience when you're doing it?
So I know that my passion is empowering people to go after their dreams, to go after what they want in life. You know, I'm the type of person, hey, let's identify what's holding you back and let's get that out of the way and go after it. Because time is precious.
Right,
Like that's
true.
me.
That's right.
You know, so I try to, you know, if someone is inviting me to speak, it's typically around that topic.
Okay.
Or if we are looking for, you know, conferences or what have
Right.
you that are looking for speakers, we try to go in that vein. But I typically just kind of figure out what it is that the message they're trying to get across to their attendees. And then I just build my talk around that.
So do you actually coach people?
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
let's talk about that. Okay. So let's talk. I mean, I know we want to, you know, focus on the purpose and help people out, but when you are coaching people, like what is that process like? Because so many people just don't have an idea where to even start when it comes down to identifying themselves and understanding they're working in their purpose, that God has blessed them to do so.
Right. So years ago, I was already kind of helping people. I just naturally love to do that, a passion. But years ago, I went ahead and got my certification for life coaching to kind of show me how to properly help a person get from A to Z.
Okay.
You know, in whatever it is that they're dealing with. So I try to, of course, do an initial consultation with people to kind of see where they are.
Okay.
I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes.
Try to do that initial buffer to see where they are, and then from there I like to build out a plan. Say, hey, this is our plan, and sometimes we do like a 90-day plan. I don't really like to go less than 90 days.
Got you.
Because 90 days is like we're in there. You know, the first 30 days with anything, you know, you just getting in there.
Yeah, you getting in there trying to figure it out.
Right. So my thing is 90 days, we get a good opportunity to connect and to really work on that person's goals. And so some of my clients have been, you know, people who just want to boost up their confidence, their self-esteem. Some people who just want to...
You hit on the head right there. Okay.
Some people want to perfect their speaking abilities
Right.
and being able to speak in public. I have clients who are introverts and they're like, I don't know how to network. I'm scared. I don't want to.
Okay.
And then I have clients who are business owners, and so they need coaching, a little bit of personal growth, personal development, and business coaching. So it just depends on what that person needs.
That is really good. You know what? I was thinking about everything you just said. And so to a point where I was at that point where, okay, I understand what God has for me to do, but I'm scared. I'm not sure. I don't have the confidence to even do so, right? Not only that, and my people know, I'll talk about like my speech is just not the clearest. And I know that and I own that. And so, and it's like, so here you say helping you speak, more on stages to clarify your message, right? So it's like, so when you say that, I'm like, that is really good because people need to know those things to be able to identify themselves and be able to be the best version of themselves that they can actually be.
Right. And we can't allow any type of flaw
That's
to
hard.
hinder us.
And see, and if I let my flaws to hinder me, I wouldn't be doing this, Jessica.
Listen, I get it, but you are soaring. You doing it.
Thank
and
you.
It's so nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I want to switch lanes for a minute because I see you got some new merch out.
Yeah.
Can we talk about your merch and what it stands for and the purpose behind it?
Yes.
Okay.
So again, I love empowerment. I love inspiring. So my thing, and I also have such a great extensive background in multimedia, graphic design, and things like that. So with that, using my gifts to create cute products that people can wear, people can put in their homes. So I've created different types of home items, such as pillows. I have a Have Faith collection.
Okay.
We have the leopard print, and then we have like the Color Your Faith print. Is all on my website. Then we also recently in February we released the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made collection.
I did see it with the woman, the face.
Yes.
I did. That's when I saw that. Yes.
Yes, and so with that particular collection, it's really to empower people, and I'm a very diverse person. I grew up very diverse. So I'll be honest, sometimes I get like culture shock because I'm like, wait, I need all the colors.
Right, exactly.
Because it just means a lot to me.
Right.
But for me, this particular item is definitely to remind women, especially Black women, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. No matter what you look like, no matter where you come from, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. All of us.
Right.
And so with that collection, we definitely wanted to do something special for Black History Month.
That was so. I saw you was on our social media and you was trying it on. I was like, that's really nice. You got the handbags and the jackets and the shoes too, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that's inspiring to me. And so it goes back to you identifying your purpose. And it's like you put that purpose and you didn't put it into a box. You allow it to go into different directions so you can reach different people at different levels that they are maybe in their life.
Right, exactly. I love to just meet people where they are. Exactly. I love
That's
to
the
create
key.
products to meet people right where they are.
Meet you where you are. So if you're out there and you're trying to identify your purpose, trying to identify what you should be doing in life, listen, I like what she said. Meet people where they are. Meet yourself where you are. Because we all have to grow and get to a certain level. But you got to start.
Right.
You got to start at something. And so being made on purpose, God made us all from him, right? We're made in his image. And so because of that, we're here to serve him, of course, but also to be here for a purpose. And if you're not operating your purpose, then I'm going to say you might not be being obedient.
Well,
you might not be obedient. You may be overthinking things. I can't do this. I can't do that. But again, that's when you go out and you do what you can, and then God will put the right people into place for you to help you to continue to grow and be working in your working in your purpose.
right. A lot of purposes.
Yeah. So, Miss Jessica, so we're about to come to a close, but is anything you want to tell our listeners and viewers on tonight that you want? Just let have the floor and then.
Yeah, I just would say, whatever it is that you love to do, do it. I think a lot of times we hold back because of fear. We're afraid of what the outcome is going to be. We're afraid of what other people are going to say, what they think. Sometimes we even feel like we're running out of time. But I just feel strongly that those of you who are watching, whatever it is that God has put on your heart to do, I think you should just go after it. And sometimes we have to do it afraid. So that's what I would say.
And if anybody wants to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Sure, go to my website. It's jessicagrace.tv, and all of my contact information is there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find me at Jessica Grace.
Well, listen, I have really enjoyed you, and thank you again for being on She Rise Chronicles. I have learned a lot just by listening to your story, and you have really inspired me as well.
Yay, you inspire me.
Thank you so much. So listen, if you haven't already, go like, follow our social media page on Facebook. You can get all our updates there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Come and go with me and let's be free, fully free. Put your mind to it, let's see what we can be. No need for struggle, you got power to